America has a history of treating minority students as second-class citizens, under the guise of separate equality. But racism in the school system ended with desegregation, right? That's where you're wrong. Institutionalized racism still exists and prevents many minority students from accessing the same education as their white peers.
Institutional racism isn't always obvious. In fact, it can actually be very subtle. Institutional racism can even cause some students to drop out due to lack of proper education. This can lead to higher risks of criminal activities in their future.
The Glossary of Education Reform defines the achievement gap as any significant, persistent disparity in academic performance or educational attainment between different groups of students, such as white students and minorities, or students from higher income and lower income households. This issue is also seen through suspension, expulsion, and dropout rates among students of all ages. The achievement gap is an example and a product of our country's institutionalized racism, and its issue with acknowledging the role of racism in our country's formation and our society today. As of 2014, Black students accounted for 18% of the country's pre-K enrollment, but made up 48% of preschoolers with multiple out-of-school suspensions. I didn't even know preschoolers could get suspended.
American Indian and Native Alaskan girls were suspended at higher rates than white boys or girls.
Black students were expelled at 3 times the rate of white students.
Less than half of American Indian and Alaskan Native high school students had access to the full range of math and science courses, which consist of Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, Calculus, Biology, Chemistry, and Physics.
American Indian and Native Alaskan students represented less than 1% of students, but 3% of expulsions.
A quarter of the schools with the highest percentage of Black and Latino students did not offer algebra, and a third of these schools did not offer chemistry.
Black girls were suspended at higher rates than all other girls and most boys.
Black and Latino students accounted for 40% of enrollment at schools with gifted programs, but only represented 26% of students in such programs.
American Indian and Native Alaskan girls were suspended at higher rates than white boys or girls.
Black students were more than 3 times as likely to attend schools where fewer than 60% of teachers meet all state certification and licensure requirements.
Nearly 1 in 4 boys of color, excepting Latino and Asian American students with disabilities, received an out-of-school suspension. This falls under the Catholic social teaching of rights and responsibilities. School districts and teachers have the responsibility to treat every student fairly and give each one equal opportunity. The students deserve the equal treatment and the right to public education.
One solution to this problem is Team Read. Team Read is an organization that helps students struggling with reading. In this organization, high school students tutor elementary students one-on-one. Most of the schools that support Team Read have over 50% of low-income students that make up their student body.